Have you ever wondered how your favorite apps work their magic without slowing down your phones? Or how do businesses store massive amounts of data without filling up the entire room? The answer is in the cloud. Hi, my name is Yesterday. Imagine renting computer power, storage, and software from the internet instead of buying and maintaining your hardware. That's cloud computing. It's like having a super-powered computer at your fingertips whenever you need it. Why is cloud computing such a big deal? Well, it's like having a genie in a bottle. You get to focus on your business while the cloud handles the tech stuff. Plus, it saves you money, improves flexibility, and scales with your need. The cloud is growing faster than a fluffy cloud, and that means amazing career opportunities from cloud architects and engineers to security experts and data analysts. The cloud world is buzzing with possibilities. Ready to dive into the cloud? Our course will take you on an exciting journey. You will learn about different cloud models, how to design and deploy cloud applications, and master essential cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and GCP. Are you ready to unlock the power of the cloud? Join our course and become a cloud expert. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media platforms.
The world of technology is constant.
Good evening, ladies. How are we all doing? I believe you can hear me. Trust we are good. How was our day? So sorry, because remember we complained about the last slide that we used that was not clear, so I quickly had to do some changes. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, good evening, Anoluwa. Okay, good evening. If you can hear me, just give me a wave emoji or a smile emoji. Okay, 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 okay. Let me just get two more so we can dive in. Yes. So quickly, because we have a lot to cover today. Thank you. So let's quickly talk about what we discussed in the last class. Can we quickly just anybody that want to just remind us of the topic we discussed? That was yesterday. Anybody? What we discussed yesterday? No, it's not shared responsibility. Yes, AWS I am. Yes, it's I am. Yes, we also discussed about I am roles, I am groups, I am policy. Yes. So remember identity, exactly, identity and access management. So today we are going to dive deep. So since on Monday, ever since we started discussing about shared responsibilities, we've actually started diving into security, starting from shared responsibilities. So as we continue to go deep, as we continue to dive deep into the services, uh, things will become more and more interesting. And trust me, if you have any questions, we are here for you. So Just embrace yourself, sit tight as we dive even deeper into security. So let's proceed. So today we'll be talking about AWS Key Management Service and Security Services. So I'm talking about AWS Key Management Service and Security Services. I will kind of speed up a little bit, but trust me, I will stop in between also to just um, get some of our questions. But trust me, today's class is going to be very, very interesting. So let's dive deep into it. AWS Key Management Service and Security Service. So the module is going to be data encryption and protection, introduction to AWS Shield, WAF, and GuardDuty. So these are all AWS. So AWS Shield, WAF, and GuardDuty. So these are all AWS services. So I know we're going to get used to the abbreviations we are using. So let's dive deep. Let's go. So these are the services we'll be covering today. I believe is my slides clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? I just need one comment. Anybody? Can you see everything? Okay, I love your vibes. Wow, thank you. So yes, so AWS, the first service we're talking about is AWS Key Management Service. So I want to start pulling us in. I will be talking, we'll be using KMS. You understand? Won't be pronouncing AWS Key Management. No, it's too much. It's a mouthful. So let's just go. So talking about KMS, Amazon GuardDuty, WAF, and AWS Shield. So these are services we'll be covering today. So, but first of all, before we talk about AWS KMS, I want us to understand something first. That's encryption. For those of us that is new to it, and some of us that are already pro in the IT world, so it's not going to be a new thing to us. So, who is just hearing about? Everyone must have heard about encryption before, but the question is, do you know what encryption is? So there are different definitions to encryption. So let's just take this definition. Encryption is the process of changing information into a secret code so that only someone with the right key can read it. Now, if you understand encryption, trust me, AWS KMS is going to be a very, very simple service to you for you to understand. So this service we'll be talking about here, AWS KMS. Yes, so I want you to understand encryption because that's all about KMS. So it's like locking up your information so that only people with the right key can see it. So let's move to the next slide. So why is encryption used? Why is encryption used? So it protects sensitive information such as your password, credit cards, and personal messages and the rest. So let's see how it works. There's a flow of how it works, and I'll pull up a scenario that will make us even understand it deeper. So now let's first of all say there's a plain text, and the plain text is your original data. Let's call it a message. Now the other step is encryption algorithm. Now we don't really need to understand deep about this, but it's just a set of rules that transform the plain text into a ciphertext. And in a nutshell, a ciphertext is when you actually change the words of something, like let's see, like let me see, like Oshodi. You understand? For those of us that are not in Nigeria, so sorry. Okay, let's use America. So instead of America, you just change the words. So just think of it like that in a language that anybody that sees it almost don't understand it. So that's for the encryption algorithm. Then the other one is the key. So this is a piece of information that helps to encrypt and decrypt the data. So it helps to encrypt and decrypt data. And the last one is decryption. This is the process of converting the ciphertext back into a plain text when you use the appropriate key. So let's move to the next slide. So now let's take a scenario, for example. Don't mind me, I know this Amala, some of us that are waiting to finish the class, I will go and work something. Hope I'm not letting you salivate. So let's quickly look at this. Let's take a scenario for example. Let's say you want to send your friend a message, and the message is, let's meet at the Yamala joint. Anybody that does not understand the Yamala joint, to please wave in the comment section so I can just explain. I believe Amala is something that everybody should know. So the message now, let's say you and your friend wants to communicate together, and the message is, let's meet at the Iyamala joint. So let's see how we can encrypt this. So whosoever that sees the message, sorry, I know you'll be salivating, sorry. It's just so we can get it and so our eyes can be open, our day can be very stressful. So I said, let me just put something like this. And don't worry, I can send this to you so you can have a taste of it. So let's go. Let's say the message now is, let's meet at the Yamala joint. So this is the message you want to send to your friend. You understand? So imagine you are already the secret now. The original message is, let's meet at the Yamala joint. Now let's encrypt it. Now follow me as I explain this process. So sorry about that. So to keep your message safe, you decided to scramble it so others can't read it. So that's just encryption. It's not a big of a deal thing. So you use a simple method called CCS cipher. So where you shift each letter by a certain number. So let's say you choose to shift by 1. So L, so from the let now, L, if you shift L by 1, so it's going to become what? Anybody? It's going to become M. So L, M. We get it. So if you shift E by 1, it's going to become F. If you shift T by 1, it's going to become U. So we get the whole concept. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to encrypt it, but it's a very simple encryption. It's just changing the words. So your whole message becomes this right here, that it doesn't even make sense. Oh, Yamala. So Yamala is the person, someone that sells Amala. Someone that sells Amala. So Kong, I'm sorry if I didn't get that name. So Amala is a type of food, you understand, that we Yorubas eat, And Iya Amala, the Iya there is a woman that sells Amala. So Iya Amala. You get it? So I trust you get it. So the whole message is this right here, from whatsoever, after shifting the letters by 1. So now the secret number you choose to shift the letters by is called the key. And in this case is what? Is 1. So sorry about that, Priscilla. Sorry. So the key here, remember the key is 1. I want us to understand very well. The key here is 1. So you get, so now the other one we're going to talk about now, the other stage is the ciphertext. Now, after you have scrambled the message, this is called the ciphertext. So it looks confusing to anyone who doesn't know what it means. Yes, that's the whole goal, because when the message is traveling over the public internet, whoever that sees, that's the man in the middle. Once he gets it, oh, you can't hear me. Olushola, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Am I audible enough? Olushola, can you hear me now? This is cloud computing. Oh, okay, let me continue. Okay, let me continue. So after scrambling the message, yes, Olushola, increase your volume a bit. So after scrambling the message, it is called a ciphertext. So the whole idea is just to confuse whoever that gets the message before it reads the receiver. You understand? Also confuse whoever that gets the message before it reaches the receiver. You understand? To confuse whoever that gets the message. So let's proceed. So now sending the message, you send the ciphertext to your friend. If someone else sees it, they won't understand it because, of course, it looks like nonsense. Now, decryption. When your friend gets the message, they know the key is what? 1. So they can shift the letter back by 1 to decode it. So if you shift M back, it becomes L. F back, it becomes E. Then your friend reads the original message, and you see they are trying to pass the message, let's meet at the Iya Amala joint. And you know what happens next. You guys finally meet, and the rest is history. So just to quickly get the feedback from us. Do we understand this concept? Do we understand the whole encryption? I just need 3% to reply me, to respond. Do we understand it? Because we're going to move a step further now. Can I get a yes? Yes, 1, 2, 3. Good. Thank you. Okay. Percy, what's there you don't understand? So let me quickly just rush back. Can you quickly just specify what you don't understand? Because I know you just joined, and it happened that when you join, you actually meet face to face with the Armada. Now, how will the friend know? You have already told the friend that is 1. Yes, you've already told the friend that the key is 1. You didn't get anything. Let me quickly rush back then. It's fine. I want us to understand it step by step. So now the secret message is let's meet at the Iyamala joint. Okay. So now let's explain everything. We are trying to explain encryption using a scenario. So the plain text, the original message is let's meet at Iyamala joint. You understand? So to encrypt it, we just decided to shift the number by 1. We decided to shift the number by 1. You understand? So let's focus on let. Let's focus on let. Okay, so those of us that are just joining, trust me, today's topic is a bit vast, so I will not be going back again. So just start from here. We are trying to explain encryption, how the process works. We are just using a very simple method to explain. So encryption, so to keep your message safe. So, when you want to send a message over the internet, trust me, there are hackers there that can just grab the message, squeeze the life out of it, and you understand, you'll be able to get the message. You understand? That is meant to be received by your friend. So there's something called encryption. Now, encryption is always done behind the scene that most of us don't know, but I don't want to go deep into it. So I'm trying to just explain how the encryption process flows in a very, very simple way. So the key is 1. So let's choose to shift the letters by 1. So let's pick let, for example. If you shift L by 1 is going to be what? M. If you shift E by 1 is going to be what? F. Then T by 1 is going to be what? U. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So you get it now. So if you shift them by one. So after shifting every one of them, the original message. So this is going to be the final message. Now this is the encrypted message. Now, whosoever sees this can never understand it because it doesn't make sense. So now remember, you choose to shift the letters by one, and the key here is going to be one. Let's move. So now, after you scramble the message, this type of approach is called the ciphertext. So it looks confusing to anyone who does not know what it means. So sending the message, you send the ciphertext to your friend. If someone, see, the goal for encrypting something is just so people that finally get to see it before it gets to your friend as a message or a data, they don't understand it, or else they will squeeze the life out of it and your friend can't get it. So or they just try to manipulate it. So now we got to the part of decryption. So when your friend gets the message, they know the key is one because you guys have already communicated. So they know the key is one. They can shift the letters back by decoding it. So M returns back, shift it back by one, L, F, E, U, T, and the rest like that. And finally, your friend gets the original message. Let's meet at the Yamala joint. And finally, you guys get there. You understand? And you do justice to the Amala, and you guys have your gist and the rest. So now, let's move further. So why encryption? Now, I want to explain to us three processes of encryption. So there's something called encryption in flight. That's TLS and SSL. How many of us is just hearing about this for the first time? TLS and SSL. Who's just hearing about this for the first time? Okay, so when we say TLS, this is called transport layer security, and the other one is secure, if I remember again, secure socket layer. Okay, the other one is secure socket layer. So now we don't really need to know deep into all these things. What it's just trying to say here is this is a way of encrypting the data. So data is encrypted before sending and decrypted after receiving by the receiver. Yes, secure socket layer. Thank you. So TLS certificate helps with encryption. So many of us must have seen this HTTPS. It stands for hypertext. I'm not supposed to go deep into it, but it's fine. It stands for hypertext transport protocol, transfer protocol layer. Sorry. Protocol security, secure, sorry. So hypertext transfer protocol secure. So the S here, means it is secure. Now we've also seen HTTP. HTTP means it's not secure. So if you see the S there, it shows that it's secure. But without the S, it's not secure. So encryption in flight ensures that it is useless to anyone else who sees it. So let me quickly picture a scenario for us. Let's say you want to send a data. Let's say you want to browse Amazon.com. You understand? So that packet, or let me use that data that is moving from your own site to Amazon.com server, the process that happens in between is called encryption in flight. So it moves from your side to the server. So in between that movement, in between that's passing through the public internet is encrypted. So that's why it's called encryption in flight. So let's look at the other type of encryption. This other type of encryption is called server-side encryption. We spoke about encryption in flight. Sorry, I'm talking about server-side encryption. So this is called encryption at rest. So data is encrypted after being received by the server. So data is encrypted before being sent back. So it is stored in an encrypted form. So thanks to a key, we all remember an example of a key. So this is called the server-side encryption. So the encryption and the key must be managed somewhere, and the server must have access to it. I'll get in. So this is called server-side encryption. So when the data is being sent to the server, it is encrypted. That is called encryption at rest. So the other one we have here is client-side encryption. Remember, yeah, you're going to get the slide. So remember, we said the request is coming from the client side. It passes through the internet. We discussed about encryption in flight, and it gets to the server. That's server-side encryption. So data is encrypted by the client and never decrypted by the server. Now, this is another type of encryption. So data will be decrypted by a receiving client. The data should not be able to decrypt. The server, should not be able to decrypt the data. Now, let me quickly explain this to us. Now, this type of encryption, we talked about server-side encryption. Maybe it's the network, sorry. So, we talked about server-side encryption, where the data is sent to the server and it's encrypted. So now, what if you don't want to let the server encrypt it? Now, the encryption is done at the client side. So this client-side encryption is done maybe by the customer. You understand? So he does the encryption by himself and he has the key. It's just sending to the server to be stored there. The server can't open it, can't do anything on it. So we could leverage envelope encryption. This is a type of encryption also. So let's move. Is WhatsApp end-to-end encryption client side? I can say yes, because now to some extent it's not, because some messages that are being sent, we don't really know what's happening at the under the hood. But whatsoever message that is being sent, according to what we are told when we looked at the WhatsApp, I've forgotten what they call it now. Our message are protected. So you understand. So WhatsApp does not have access to our message. So we can say this is client-side encryption. So it's an end-to-end encryption. So let's move further. Don't worry, I will receive. Okay, before I move, let me quickly. Server-side encryption. Now, think of a storage. You understand? The storage is the one that is going to encrypt the data for you. So the data, when it gets to the storage or the server, is being encrypted. So before the data is encrypted, before being sent back. Let's look at this slide. Let me use a bank now to explain this. So now let's consider a bank now. Imagine a bank with valuable assets like cash, gold, sensitive customer information, and the rest. So the bank must ensure that all these assets are secure. whether they are stored in the vault or being transported between branches. So this the client, this is the encryption. Don't worry, you will get it here now. So the bank must ensure that all these assets are secure, whether they are being stored in the vault or being transported between branches. Now, encryption in flight is when the data is being protected as it moves from one place to the other. That's the general explanation of encryption, Deborah. So similarly, in your applications, you need to ensure that your data is secure when stored. That's encryption at rest. And during transmission, which is known as encryption in transit. I believe this should explain all our questions now. Do we have any question? So, okay, so this diagram here, I purposely pulled up so many diagrams so we can understand this concept. So let's move further. So now let's talk about AWS Key Management Service rather. So now if you understand encryption, trust me, this is going to be a very, very simple thing for you. So AWS Key Management Service enables you to perform encryption operations through the use of cryptographic keys. Now, that's okay, nobody. So a cryptographic key is a random string of digits used. Don't worry, I will come back again, Ursula, because there's no time. Trust me, there's no time. Or you can quickly go back after the recording too. But don't worry, if there's still time, I'm going to come back and explain to you, inshallah. So a cryptographic key is a random string of digits used for locking. Remember, locking, that's encrypting, and unlocking, that's called decrypting the data. So you can use KMS to create, use it to manage, and use cryptographic keys. So KMS does the creating, does the managing, and uses cryptographic keys for you. So you can also control the use of keys across a wide range of services and in your application. So with AWS KMS, you can choose the specific levels of access control that you need for your keys. So how do you want to control it? Who do you want to have access to the keys? So you can do this. So you can specify which IAM users. Remember, how many of us remember the explanation of IAM users that was done, taught by my fellow colleague? IAM users and roles are able to manage keys. Alternatively, you can temporarily disable keys so that they are no longer in use by anyone. So your keys can never leave KMS and you are always in control of them. So KMS helps you to create, it helps you to manage these keys. So instead of you doing, encryption is a lot of process, trust me, just like we've seen. So AWS KMS service, that's key management service, help us to do all this, help us to create these keys, help us to manage them, and also use cryptographic keys. So we have control over them. We can say we want these keys to remain for some particular hours or some particular days. We can manage access users who can have access to these keys using IAM users. So let's proceed. Don't worry, I'll come back to the question. So now, the other service we want to talk about now is WAF, AWS Web Application Firewall. So what comes to your mind when you hear about the firewall? Just think of it as something that stops or a block that prevents harm from what is behind it. So you understand? So WAF is a web application firewall that it lets you to monitor network requests that come into your web applications. So it does the monitoring. So you can also integrate it with CloudFront and application load balancer. Now, see, we've not spoken about application load balancer, but don't worry, we are going to discuss about application load balancer in the next section. So just have it at the back of your mind that it helps you to block or allow traffic. So how does it block and allow traffic? You use something we call a access control list, web access control list. And I'm going to explain that to us. So WAF uses access control list, web access control list, to help us protect these AWS services, AWS resources rather. So let's see what web access control list means. Now, it's a security feature used to control and manage access to web application. So it consists of a set of rules that specify whether incoming or outgoing requests should be allowed or blocked based on criteria like IP addresses, HTTP headers, or specific URL. Now, it helps protect web application from unauthorized access, malicious traffic, and potential attackers by filtering and controlling the flow of data. Now, let's see the explanation. I know some of us. So now let's take web application access control list like a guest list at a private party. Now, for those of us that have been to maybe, let's say, maybe a wedding now, you understand, and you have to come with your invitation card, or there's a list of those that is written down that can have access. Think of access control list like that. So it has a list of those that can have access to your application and those that are not meant to have access to your application. So just as the browser checks the guest list at the door and allows certain people to enter based on the names on the list. So web access control list controls who or what can access a web application. So specify rules that are either allowed or block specific requests, ensuring that only trusted traffic gets through. Don't worry, if you have questions, just put it down and trust me, we're going to go over it again. So think of it from the name. Web access control list is a list of those that can have access to your application. We are trying to protect our application here. So let's take an example of how we can use WAF to allow and block specific requests. So suppose your application has been receiving malicious network requests from several IP addresses. So you want to prevent these requests from continuing to access your application. But you also want to ensure that legitimate users can still access it. So what you're going to do is you're going to configure the web access control list to allow requests except those from the IP address that you've specified. I believe it should be clear now. So let's see. So let's say a packet, I would like to access the application. Now, what WAF does, it checks this with some IP address that has not been blocked. It allows it to enter. Hope we get that. So it allows it to enter. So, but on the other hand, let's say now we have someone who is not given the permission to enter. So the person comes sending the packet, I would like to have access to the application. So if you are coming from an IP address that has been blocked, that means the WAF is going to automatically reject that packet. It's going to reject the request. Okay. Let's move on. So please, I don't want to be stopping. Don't worry. Just have your questions now, and trust me, we are going to work on them. So the other AWS service we want to talk about now is Amazon GuardDuty. So very simple. The first thing that should come to your mind is, when you hear of GuardDuty, is think of a security guard. Yes, think of a security guard. That's what usually comes to my mind anytime I hear of Amazon GuardDuty. So it's a service that provides intelligent threat detection. Take note of that. Provides intelligent threat detection for your AWS infrastructure. So you understand, and resources. It identifies threats. It does it by continuously monitoring the network activity and account behavior within your AWS environment. So it does this, is an intelligent threat detector. So now let's see, but then you have to enable Amazon GuardDuty. If you open an AWS account, for example, it is not enabled automatically. You have to enable it. So what GuardDuty does is it continuously analyzes network and account activity. It does this intelligently. It detects the threats for you, so you can review the detailed findings and take action. So what it does, it helps you find out, okay, there's something wrong here. It does that. It provides intelligent threat detection for your AWS infrastructure and your resources. Okay. So you can think of, oh, my bodyguard is not there. There's supposed to be one bodyguard there, sorry. So you can think of Amazon GuardDuty as a security guard for your AWS resources. So it automatically watches over your AWS environment. Now, keep in mind, because it's going to come out in the exam, that you have to enable it. By default, it's not enabled. When you open an AWS account, you choose to enable it. So after enabling it, it automatically watches over your AWS environment, alerts you if something unusual happens, and provides insight into potential security issues so you can take action to protect your data. Remember, it does this intelligently. So you don't need to install or manage any hardware. It is all managed by AWS, and it integrates seamlessly with other AWS services. So now in how will I put it now? In on-premise now, for example, the whole idea about these AWS services is it helps you, it saves you the stress of having to manage, having to have control, having to, you understand, set things up. So that is one of the main goals for AWS services, and most especially cloud computing. So they help you lift up those burdens. The same thing with this Amazon GuardDuty and AWS services. So, and the funny and the wonderful thing about it is it integrates seamlessly with other AWS services. So you hear of Amazon GuardDuty, first thing that should come to your mind is a security and intelligent security guard who helps you detect. So after you've enabled Amazon GuardDuty for AWS accounts, so what it does, like I said earlier, it monitors your network and account activities. So you do not have to deploy or manage any additional security software. Like I said, it helps you lift up that burden for you. Instead of you saying, okay, I have to watch over this AWS account, I have to watch over this security, this resource. Amazon, it does this, it continuously analyzes data from multiple AWS sources, including your VPC flow logs and DNS logs. Don't worry, we are going to talk about all this later in this course. So his main goal is that it detects any threat. Don't worry, we are going to, I'll come back to it. Just put your questions down so we can quickly cover this. So it detects any threats. You can reveal detailed findings about them from AWS Management Console. Findings include recommended steps for remediation. You can also configure AWS Lambda. We're going to talk about AWS Lambda as a kind of service function to take remediation steps automatically in response to GuardDuty security findings. And I told you that it works seamlessly with other AWS services. So what should come to your mind anytime you hear of Amazon GuardDuty? An intelligent security guard who helps you. It detects threats. You get. So let's move. So now the other service we are going to talk about is AWS Shield. AWS Shield. Now, before we dive deep into AWS Shield, this is another kind of service for that AWS offers. Is under AWS service. So there's something we call DOS. How many of us have heard of DOS before? Denial of service attacks, or DDoS, distributed denial of service attacks. Has anybody heard of DOS before? I'm not talking about Dolce and Gabbana now. I'm talking about DOS. Has anybody heard about DOS before? Can I get a yeah? Can I get a no? Wow, we have some IT specialists here. Don't worry, don't worry. Yes, okay. So I'm not going to be saying denial of service attack. So I'm not going to be saying distributed denial of service. No, I will be hitting it. I'll be using the abbreviation DOS. When I say DOS, you get it, Abby? Don't worry, I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain each one of them. I'm going to explain each one of them. So when I say DDoS, understand I'm trying to say distributed denial of service attack. I can't be, we get the whole concept now. So let's see what these two types of attacks means. Let's explain this now. So now let's take a scenario for a DOS attack. So look at this scenario now. Now we have let's use a coffee shop for example now. Customers can call the coffee shop to place their orders. After answering each call, a cashier takes the order and gives it to the barista. We all know who a barista is, the one who does prepares the coffee and the rest. So, however, suppose that a prankster is calling in multiple times to place orders, but is never picking up their drinks. So this causes the cashier to be unavailable to take other customers' call. Don't worry, I'm going to explain very well, but I believe we are grabbing the concept. So the coffee shop can attempt to stop the first request by blocking the phone number that the prankster is using. So this particular scenario is similar to denial of service attack. So now let me go a bit further. Now I'm going to explain a bit further. DOS attack is a deliberate attempt to make a website or application unavailable to users. Take note, it's a deliberate attack. Somebody does want to disturb. How many of us know this? How will I put it now? There's this bird. You know this bird that usually follow hawk every time when hawk is flying. So those of us that are in Nigeria now, in Lagos, we understand what I'm saying. How many of us know? Don't leave me hanging here. How many of us know that bird? I don't know the name. Is it a sparrow? What are they calling it? How many of us know that bird that when the hawk is flying, you always see it. It's always disturbing the hawk. You don't know it. How many of us know this? So nobody. So nobody. Can I get another person? So nobody knows that bird. My God. We don't used to check the sky. We don't used to see what's going on. There's this we do by faith. Oh. So there's this hawk. We know hawk now. Asha. We know Asha now. We know Asha. No, it's not eagle now. We are in Lagos now. Okay, sir. We are in Lagos now. Not the one that follows cow. Not Leke. Oh my God. Let me quickly explain. It's not vulture. You don't know Asha. If you look at the sky, sometimes you will see this big bird. Let me quickly go. So what happens? Let's look at this now. It's hawk, yes. So for example, an attacker might flood a website or application with excessive network traffic until the targeted website or application becomes overloaded and is no longer able to respond. So now this is the goal. No, it's not bad to my God. You should know. Yes, so we'll soon go for a break now. It's almost 8. So let me don't mind me. Don't mind me. Let's proceed. So this is IT. This is IT. Let's focus. This is cloud computing. So I'm trying to explain DOS. Remember, I'm trying to explain DOS. So an attack that originates from a single source, take note of that. It originates from a single source. So its main focus is to make the website or the application to become unavailable. So just think of the coffee shop, for example. Let's say everybody's on the line. Just imagine you have a cashier before, during, let's say you are desperate of cash or you want to get something from the back, and for example, you guys are on the line, you're on the queue, you understand, it's almost your turn, and somebody just come and start disturbing, trying to make you, and this is just from one person trying to scatter the line, you understand, trying to make it difficult. The cashier have can no longer be focused on the persons on the queue that is in front of her. And what happens? There's a delay. So the same is what I'm trying to explain here. So it originates from a single source. It originates from a single source. The attack originates from a single source. Yes, so the attack originates from a single source. Its main goal is to render the website useless. So think when you hear of DOS, a denial of service rather, attacks, think of an attacker that originates from a single source. So let's have a break here before I move to DDoS. So let's have a break here. Mr. Josiah, we can have our own break now. We can have our break. You can send the link for registration for them to the attendance link rather. So when we get back from our break, we will proceed. Don't worry, I know today's stuff. That's why I had to come up with so many diagrams. We are going deeper into the service. We are going deeper. The deeper we get, you get it now. So you should expect, I don't know how many, I guess about 5 minutes. So Mr. Josiah, we can have our break now. So let's send the link. It's hot. Even me, I'm sweating. I'm seriously, in this suit. I am this coat, not suit. Trust me, it's hot. But don't worry, I'm here for you guys. Don't worry. At the end of it all, we are going to.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. While we are expected to fill our attendance right now, please take note of this following information that you should please check your mail to accept your Canvas invite as soon as possible. And completing these steps is essential to ensure that you have access to all the course material assignments and, of course, the future class updates. Most of the communications will not be done through the learning management system, which is the LMS, and the invite has been sent to you. Please note that once the invite expires, it cannot be reissued. No excuse like I didn't see it on time will be accepted, and the failure to accept may result to missing crucial informations and activity. And please note that once we discover that for a period of time you have not accepted the invite to be on the LMS, we assume that you don't want to learn with us again. So we might also close it and then give room for others to be onboarded. Assignments will be done and grading will also be done on this LMS. Selection of successful candidates who will get certificates will be done via the LMS also. So there are a lot of criteria, there are a lot of operations, there are a lot of processes that will be engaged on the learning management system. So please, we advise that you do this as soon as possible. Attendance is coming up shortly, and we advise that you please engage the attendance to fill. For you to be onboarded on the LMS, kindly check your mail. Provided you register, there will be a mail sent to you to invite you for the Canvas. And the invite is coming from Canvas by instructor. Thank you so much. Um, and well done, Mr. Moses, for the great job. Well done.
Have you ever wondered how your favorite apps work their magic without slowing down your phones? Or how do businesses store massive amounts of data without filling up the entire room? The answer is in the cloud. Hi, my name is Yesterday. Imagine renting computer power, storage, and software from the internet instead of buying and maintaining your hardware. That's cloud computing. It's like having a super-powered computer at your fingertips whenever you need it. Why is cloud computing such a big deal? Well, it's like having a genie in a bottle. You get to focus on your business while the cloud handles the tech stuff. Plus, it saves you money, improves flexibility, and scales with your need. The cloud is growing faster than a fluffy cloud, and that means amazing career opportunities from cloud architects and engineers to security experts and data analysts. The cloud world is buzzing with possibilities. Ready to dive into the cloud? Our course will take you on an exciting journey. You will learn about different cloud models, how to design and deploy cloud applications, and master essential cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and GCP. Are you ready to unlock the power of the cloud? Join our course and become a cloud expert. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media platforms.
We are back. Are we ready? Are we ready? Should I proceed? Should I proceed? Are we still having some challenges? Oh, okay. The attendance link has not been sent. Don't worry, that is going to be done. So sorry about that. So that's the attendance link. The attendance link has been sent. So please, we don't have time. So I've gotten you go ahead. So let's dive in. Let's dive in. Trust me, we have it's hot. It's hot. So we have you see I've removed my coat. So let's dive deep in. So before the break we talked about DOS. So we all remember what DOS is. The attack that originates from a single source. Hmm? The attack that originates from a single source. Just think DOS. So let's move on now. So we spoke about DOS and we talked. So we're going to dive deep into both DOS and DDoS. So now let's look at DDoS attack. So remember, we are trying to understand the difference between the two of them and what it actually means. So now suppose that the prankster has enlisted the help of friends. So now this guy is not joking at all. He just wants to pull down the application. So remember, it was just the guy before, you know. Remember, it was just the guy at the bank. Remember, we were trying to use the guy, someone at the bank, trying to interrupt the line. So now he now noticed all of a sudden his plan didn't work. So you know what he did? He now went out and went to go and call other friends. Maybe perhaps while he was trying to disrupt the line, you understand? A security guard, two security guard came and they bundled him out. I know sometimes it's always like two or three security guards. So you know what the guy now did now? I'm just trying to help us to get things back. He now went to go and call other guys, and now called like 6 or 7 of them, or like 10 of them. So you understand? So they repeatedly made an attempt on the line just to scatter it. So these requests are coming. So the same thing is with this scenario. So the prankster and his friend repeatedly called the coffee shop with requests to place orders, even though they do not intend to pick them up. And you know their main goal, like the thief coming to steal. You get it now, to K and to you understand. So these requests are coming in from different phone numbers, and it's impossible for the coffee shop to block them all. Additionally, an influx of calls has been made. It's increasingly difficult for customers to be able to get their calls through. And you know, when all this happen, it's not just the application that is going to suffer it now. The customers, or for example, the bank now, those that are online are also going to suffer it too. So this is similar to something we call the distributed denial of service attack. So let's dive deep into it and let's see another way to explain this. So now, before when I was explaining, if you look at this side, it's only just one single attacker, just one single attacker. So this attacker went to get more friends. But in this case, since it's over the internet, there's no need to get, there's something we call bots. Many of us know bots. You understand? Where it plays the role of a human, but then it's not a human. So now, in DDoS attack, multiple sources are used to start an attack that aims to make a website or application unavailable. So this can come from a group of attackers or even a single attacker. Now, the single attacker can use multiple infected computers, also known as bots, to send excessive traffic to a website or application. So I believe it's clear now the difference between DOS and DDoS. Don't worry. At the end of it, I'll receive all our questions. Please just put the questions down and be ready to stone your questions at me. Trust me, I'm here for you. So, to help minimize this effect of DOS and DDoS attacks on your application, you can use AWS Shield. Now, what is this AWS Shield that we've been hearing about? It's a service that protects application against DDoS attacks. So these attacks we'll be talking about, there's a service in AWS that can help you, you understand, just to keep your application safe, to help you deal with all those attackers, you understand, to stand in gap for you, to play the roles that you cannot play. So AWS Shield is a service that helps protect your application against all this attack. So AWS Shield provides 2 levels of protection. Please, let's take note of this. It's going to come out in the exam. It provides 2 levels of protection. The first one is the standard, and the second one is the advanced. So AWS Shield provides 2 levels of protection. Now let's see. Let's talk about the Shield standard. AWS Shield standard. So this automatically protects all AWS customers at no cost. Take note of that. It protects you, your customers. Or that's when you actually get an AWS account, you understand? And you own an AWS account. So you are not going to be charged for using AWS Shield standard. You get, so this version of AWS Shield is free. So it protects your AWS resources from most common, frequently occurring types of DDoS attack. So as network traffic comes into your applications, AWS Shield standard uses a variety of analysis techniques to detect malicious traffic. Now, let me quickly point this out. If you can quickly write it down. So those of us that are going to be doing the exam, and trust me, at the end of this course, there are going to be a mentor section and pro tips on how you can pass your exam. Trust me. And there are keywords to take note of. So once you hear detect malicious traffic, think AWS Shield. So this is a bonus tip for tonight. And when the course is going on, we'll be drawing out all this because one of our main goals is for us to pass the AWS to get our certification. Yes, so detect malicious traffic. Think AWS Shield. So it does this in real time and automatically mitigates it. Do we know the meaning of mitigate? I believe we all should know the meaning of mitigate, to lessen the attack of something. So let's proceed. Now let's see the other level of protection that AWS Shield offers. So this is called the AWS Shield Advanced. Now this one, yes, control, is a paid service. Most big organizations make use of this. So the paid service that provides detail. Now this one provides more detailed attack diagnostic and the ability to detect and mitigate sophisticated DDoS attack. So we are seeing the difference now. So this one also integrates with other AWS services like Amazon CloudFront, the content delivery network, Amazon Route 53. Don't worry, we're going to know the meaning of all this AWS service, Elastic Load Balancing, and many other ones like that. So additionally, you can integrate AWS Shield with WAF, remember, by writing custom roles to mitigate complex DDoS attacks. One pro tip again for us that we should note down, when we hear the word custom, please note in the IT world or mostly in cloud computing, have it at the back of your mind that the word custom means the one that you created by yourself. So there's the default VPC that AWS creates, and there's the custom VPC. That's the one you create. So, because trust me, all these little things are going to come out in the exam just to, you understand, just to make you confused a bit. But I'm giving it to you now free of charge. So when you hear custom, think of it as something you actually configured yourself. You understand? Something you actually set up yourself. You understand? That's called custom. So let's move on. Now the floor is open for questions. I'm excited. Let me buckle myself up. But I believe we are good. Trust me, I know we are very intelligent people. So hit me with your questions. I'm here for you. Hit me with your questions. So I'm not understanding this. So should I start from down upward? Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Zipporah. Tell me what you don't understand. Can you just pick the service? Can you just, I don't understand this service. Okay. Now let's do a watch down. Let's do a watch down. Let's do a watch down. Let's do a quick watch down. So let me do a quick watch down. Let me do a quick watch down. It's fine. I understand. So trust me, this is almost all the security, AWS security services from yes. We've covered everything. You know, one way you can um, remember all these things. All of them are grouped into different categories where we have security, storage, compute, database, and the rest. So let's start again. Don't worry, I'm here for you guys. The materials will be given to you. The materials will be given to you. I will do that now. Don't worry. The materials will be given to you. The materials will be given to you. So that's why I want to really emphasize on this, please. Let us sign into the LMS platform. It's very, very important. Assignment to be given through that platform. So may any other things will be shared across to you, like the materials. And you being on that LMS, it shows that you are part of this cloud computing course. So now we are talking about KMS and key and security services. KMS and security services. Now, the module objectives are data encryption and protection, introduction to AWS Shield, WAF, and GuardDuty. So I'd like us to be very fast with our fingers now. So when I get to a place that you don't understand, I will stop and I'll tell you to hit me with your question. So let's go. Now, these are the services that will be covered in this module. The KMS, the GuardDuty, the WAF, and the Shield. These are the 4 services. They're just 4 services. It's just that they have branches. So you get just like trees, they have a lot of branches, and some branches can be flying this way, and you get it. So, but don't worry, it's just little by little. We will get it. So let's move on. So, but before I talk about this particular service, that's KMS, I want to explain encryption. So encryption is the process of changing information into a secret code. Is just think of encryption as a way that let's say you want to pass a message, or you let's say you keep something inside a box, you understand, you lock it and you keep the key and you push it out and people are seeing it. People that see it, they can't have access to it. They don't know what is inside. They can't open the box. So you get it. They can only see it, but they can't do anything with it. So think of encryption like that. So it's like locking your information so that people with the right key can access it. Now, why are we doing this? Because we pass packets over the internet. You understand? Messages fly right there, and the rest of them people can have access to it. All these hackers can, you understand, get it and squeeze the life out of it, and you understand, draw out the information. So that's why that's why encryption is very key. So you get to be able to encrypt this data. So let's fly. So why is it used? Is to protect sensitive information such as passwords, credit cards, numbers, and personal messages from unauthorized access. So now let's see how this works now. So let's say you want to send a message. So now this is your original data. So there's something called encryption algorithm. It's just a set of rules that transform the plain text into a ciphertext. A ciphertext, in a nutshell, is just when you kind of, there's a message, for example, 1 2 3 4 5 is clear, and you just decided to twist it. You understand? 3 4, add some letters, and the rest of them turn to upside down. Just think of ciphertext like that. So now, how encryption, the flow works, there's something called a key. This is a piece of information that helps you encrypt and decrypt the data. So does anybody have any question now? Quickly just drop something. Let me see. Maybe you want me to go back. Anybody? Count 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Nobody. Let's fly. So decryption. This is a process of converting the ciphertext. Remember, when it's encrypted, it becomes a ciphertext into a plain text using the appropriate key. Let's fly. It's like it's really, really entering now. Let's fly. So let's take this for example. I'm sorry, I just have to draw this up. It's part of the explanation slide. So sorry. So let's go. So let's take your eyes away from the Amala. So you get. So the secret message here is, let's say you want to send a message to your friend. You understand? You want to send a message to your friend, and the message is, let's meet at the Iya Alamala joint. For those of us that don't understand, Amala is a type of food. Iya there is a woman that sells Amala. You understand? And you know what joint is. So you send your friend this message. Now, I want to show you how encryption works in just using simple terms now. So that's why I came up with this Amala. So so you want to tell your message. The original message now, take note, is let's meet at the Yalamala joint. Let's encrypt this message now. So remember why we encrypt it. So when we are trying to pass the message, you get, so when the message is flying over the internet, which we don't see, you understand? So some attackers cannot just grab the life out of it and squeeze it and get rid of the message. So we encrypt it to keep your message safe. You decide to scramble it so others can't read it. So use a simple method called a CCR cipher, where you shift each letter by a certain number. You shift it by 1. Let's say you choose to shift it by 1. So let's take the let, for example. So the let is going to be, now if you move L by 1 forward, so can I get the M in the comments so I'll know we are following? Can I get the M? 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 So I'll know that I'm not just talking to myself. M, right? I know lower. Thank you. Trust me, I know you're following. Yahama. So okay, so we all understand it. That's good. Thank you so much. I believe it's syncing now. So we decide to shift the E by F. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So that's fine. By 1, so that's going to be F. Decide to shift the T to by 1. That's moving forward a bit. That's U. So your whole message now, after it's been encrypted, is going to be like this word that I cannot pronounce. You get it. So this was going to be your message after you shift the O let's meet at the Yalamala joint. So the secret number you choose to ship the letter by is called the key. Yes, it's called the key. In this case, the key is 1. I believe we are getting into this stage now. Let's fly. So the scrambled message, this is now called, so the scrambled message is now called a ciphertext. So it looks, the whole idea is just to make it, that's the whole idea of encryption, just to make it look confusing to whoever that gets their hands on it before it gets to your friend. You understand? So they will not go and say, oh, so you want to meet at the Alamala joint Tabi? No problem, they will meet me there. So you get the whole idea. So it's just trying to switch things. So let's move to the next thing now. Sending the message. You send this ciphertext to your friend. If someone else sees it, of course, they won't be able to understand it. So even me myself, if I don't know the initial message was let's meet at the Alamala joint, I won't understand it because this just looks somehow to me. So now when it gets to your friend already knows that the key is 1. So what they shift L is going to be L U. So it's just your friend that knows it. Yeah. Yaki, I don't understand your question. Is there a general principle or standard of comes up with? Ah, I'm trying to wrap my head around your question. Maybe I'll come back at it. So just try, please, just try and make it more detailed because I can't seem to wrap my message has the key and finally knows that you're trying to say, let's meet at the Alamala joint, and trust me, you know the rest is history. So now let's explain encryption now. Now, why encryption? There's something called encryption in flight. That is TLS and SSL. I quickly want to rush through this. So, encryption in flights and
Have you ever wondered how your favorite apps work their magic without slowing down your phones? Or how do businesses store massive amounts of data without filling up the entire room? The answer is in the cloud. Hi, my name is Yesterday. Imagine renting computer power, storage, and software from the internet instead of buying and maintaining your hardware. That's cloud computing. It's like having a super-powered computer at your fingertips whenever you need it. Why is cloud computing such a big deal? Well, it's like having a genie in a bottle. You get to focus on your business while the cloud handles the tech stuff. Plus, it saves you money, improves flexibility, and scales with your need. The cloud is growing faster than a fluffy cloud, and that means amazing career opportunities from cloud architects and engineers to security experts and data analysts. The cloud world is buzzing with possibilities. Ready to dive into the cloud? Our course will take you on an exciting journey. You will learn about different cloud models, how to design and deploy cloud applications, and master essential cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and GCP. Are you ready to unlock the power of the cloud? Join our course and become a cloud expert. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media platforms.
Hello guys, so sorry. I didn't even know what happened. Let me quickly pull up my slide back. So sorry about that. All of a sudden the app just shut down. Can you see my slide now? Can you hear me? Can we move with this video? Okay. Can you hear me now? Oh, thank you so much. So sorry about that. I was like, what's going on? Okay, so where did we stop? Let me see. What's going on? So we're talking about encryption in flight. Oh, that's good. Thank you. Thank you. People are too much. They're too much. Okay, Mr. Daman, I will come back to this question. Thank you so much. So let's quickly dive deep. So encryption in flight ensures that it is useless to anyone else who sees it. So as it passes over the network, it's encrypted. Okay, Mr. Ian. Okay, I will come back to this question. So I guess you meant, is there a standard principle used for encryption? Like shifting the letters by one? So that's an example. And that type of encryption is called cipher text. Sorry. So the CR cipher, sorry. Yes, there are lots and lots of. So this is cloud computing, and our main focus is just this. I even just decided to go deep into it so we can just understand encryption. Trust me, you just need to have an idea. You just need to have an idea of this. So I wanted to explain encryption before we talk about the service. So let's fly. So now let's talk about server-side encryption. Talk about encryption in flight. We're talking about server-side encryption. Think of server, think of an application. So, and think of encryption at rest. So data is encrypted after being received by the server. Means the server collects data, it encrypts the data. So The data is encrypted before being sent to. The encryption is done on the server. The encryption and decryption key must be managed somewhere, and the server must have access to it. Mr. Josiah, can you move me away from the road, please? Kindly just move me somewhere. Let me chat to Mr. Josiah. Mr. Josiah, I'm obstructing the view of everybody. Oh, thank you. So, but it's not good to hard code your keys or your password on your server. Now, that explanation is going to be done. So, the encryption keys or the codes are not saved on the server. It's saved somewhere that the server can have access to. So it's best practice not to save your credentials or your code on the server. So we understand what server-side encryption is. Let's fly. So we now have something called client-side encryption. Let me quickly just explain client. So data is encrypted by the client and never decrypted by the server. So think of a bank now. You know those people that usually, I'm not forced to watch film now. Don't fall my hand this time. I know we watch films a lot. All this American film. And you know all those rich guys that they usually have all these slots in the bank, all this space in bank where they will have their key. So you understand, like it's like a chest of gold that they only have the key. The key is with them. So they lock it, but they keep it in the bank for safekeeping. The bank can't open it. The bank don't have access to it. The bank can only help them keep it. So this is a total explanation of client-side encryption. So whenever you need it, you just go inside there, you can cover it. And a vault, yes, a vault, but that's an individual vault. Now that's a small vault, that someone owns. You understand? We're talking about the big vault. The bank itself is in a vault, but you can say a vault, say a mini vault that is owned by someone that is much more wealthy. So Israel, scroll up and you see the attendance link. So let's fly. I believe we understand this. So let's look into have a deep explanation of encryption in flight and encryption at rest. Now, imagine a bank with valuable asset like what they keep in the bank now. We know. So the bank must ensure that all these assets are secure, whether they are stored in the vaults or being transported between branches, from UBA to UBA. So you get it now. Similarly, in your applications, you need to ensure that your data is secure while stored. So when the data is stored, it is called encryption at rest. And during transmission, which is known as encryption in transit, as the data is moving over the internet and is encrypted, it's called encryption in transit. When it's at the final destination and the data is encrypted, it's called encryption at rest. So, do you have any question? Can I fly? I just need two persons to tell me. If I get it two no, I will have to wait. If I get it two yes, that means we are good to go. Can I get a yes and a no? My eyes are yes, and one more. Yes, fine. Thank you. Let's fly. So now we're talking about encryption. So what comes to your mind when you hear of key? So we're talking about encryption and the rest of them. I'm just trying to let us understand what KMS does. So it enables you to perform encryption operations through the use of cryptographic keys. So you get it now. So this definition of cryptographic key is a random string of digits used for locking and encrypting and unlocking, called decrypting data. So if you understand encryption process all through why I explained the Yamala, the bank, and the rest of them, trust me, I've just explained KMS. So this is what KMS does. So it creates these keys and manages these keys for you. So you can also control the use of these keys across a wide range of services and in your application. So with AWS, you can choose the specific levels of access control that you need for this key. For example, you can specify which IAM users. How many of us remember IAM users that are wonderful facilitator explained to us yesterday? Yes, there are different types of encryption, Yagi. So, like I explained, the CCR type of encryption is the one I just explained. So, trust me, there are different types, and it's not for us to cover in this. It's not for us to cover in this. So, let's fly. So, the other service we want to talk about is WAF. The other service we want to talk about that is WAF. I won't be saying web application firewall, and I'm talking about WAF. So, it's a web application firewall that lets you, this one does monitor your network requests that come into your application. Firewall that helps you monitor your network requests that come into your application, your web applications. So it works with other AWS services. No, client-side encryption is not the same as encryption in flight. Look at the flights there now. The flights, the data is moving, it's encrypted while it's going. So when you lock something inside the box and you just throw it, you understand, it's the box is locked, that's encrypted, it's locked before it lands over to the other side. So you get it, TJ, I've just explained. So WAP works together with Amazon CloudFront and application load balancer. Application load balancer will be discussed later in this course. So it helps you to block or allow traffic. So, but it doesn't do this alone. It does this using a web access control list, ACL, access control list. Let me say it again, access control list. That's just don't mind the big grammars. It's a controls list. It's a control list rather. So to protect your AWS resources, so let's fly. So a access control list, web access control list rather, is a security feature used to control and manage access to web application. So this access control list consists of set of rules that specify whether incoming or outgoing requests should be allowed or blocked based on a criteria like IP addresses. Now let me explain web access control list Now, this is me explaining web access control list. So think of it like a guest list. That's the web access control list. But so the bouncer checks the guest list at the door. It only allows certain people enter based on the name of on that list. So this is just the whole explanation of web access control list. Now I want to relax a bit. Any questions so far? Any question? Any question? Any question? If I get 2 yeses, I'll fly. If I get a no, I'm going to pause. Can I get a yes to move on? Can I get a yes or a no? Yes, yes, Fly. Thank you. That's what I'm just waiting for. Yes. Oh, you guys are good. So let's fly. So let's see an example of how we can use WAF to allow and block specific requests. Let's see how we can. So request, let's look at the request form. Suppose that your application has been receiving malicious network requests from several IP addresses. You want to prevent these requests from continuing to access your application, but you also want to ensure that legitimate users can still access it. Now, you configure the web access control list to allow all requests except for those from the IP address that you specify. So it's a set of rules that you allow or deny. So think of it as a list. So let's look at this diagram here. So a packet is coming in. I would like to access the application. What WAF does is it has, remember, it works with ACL, that's a web access control list. So you are coming, it checks if you're coming from an IP address that has not been blocked. If it's coming from an IP address that has not been blocked, it allows it to enter. You get it now? So, but what if it's a malicious request from an attacker? So what it does, so this malicious request from an attacker is coming. So it finds out that this IP address has been blocked. So it stops it from entering. So the web access control list is a list. Web firewalls denies it after checking in the list. What if another malicious movement comes from another that has been blocked? Is that even possible? What if another malicious movement comes from another? Yes, to be blocked. To be blocked. To be blocked. Let's fly, please. So now let's talk about GuardDuty. I believe everybody should understand GuardDuty. I believe everybody should understand. Is there anybody that does not understand GuardDuty? Should I touch it? Just think it's security guards that intelligently detects threats. So let me just wash down through it. So it's a service. GuardDuty is a service that provides intelligent threat detection. Provide intelligent threat detection for your AWS infrastructure. Now, okay, so remember, you have to enable Amazon GuardDuty. It's a service that it does this intelligently. It helps you detect threat detection. It identifies threats. How does it do it? It does it by continually monitoring the network activity and account behavior within your AWS organization. So what does it do? After you've enabled it here, you can see GuardDuty. Oh my Jesus. Fola Yemi, this cloud computing class. Okay, let me teach. Okay, so GuardDuty continuously analyze the network and account activity. It intelligently detects threats. So it reviews detailed findings and takes action. Now, I don't know, I put a bodyguard around here. I don't know where the guy went to. Maybe he has left his post. And trust me, I'm going to call him for that. I placed the bodyguard here. I don't know. All of a sudden, I can't find him again. So let me just explain Amazon GuardDuty. So think of it as a security guard. You understand, for AWS, it automatically watches over your AWS environment. So alerts you if any unusual happens, if something unusual happens, and provide insight into potential security issues so you can take action to protect your data. So you don't need to install or manage any hardware. It is all managed by AWS. It integrates seamlessly with other AWS services. Now, see, let's even go deeper. When we talk about Amazon GuardDuty, think of a service that helps you detect any threat. It does this intelligently. It does this, it helps you find, it helps you detect. You don't have to manage it. All you need to do is to enable it on AWS. It integrates well with other AWS services. If you have any question on Amazon GuardDuty, please can you hit me with your question? Any question? Should I fly? Can I get a yes if you want me to move on? Can I get a yes? Either I should move on or I like that response. Thank you. So let's move. So now, yes, let's all sort together. So now the other service we want to talk about now is AWS Shield. To understand AWS Shield, we have to understand DOS and DDoS. I'm not going to pronounce in denial of service attacks. Trust me, my jaw is already paining me. So DOS and DDoS. DOS and DDoS. So let's see the meaning. Now, let's see a scenario for DDoS. Customer can call the coffee shop to place their orders after answering a call. So let me just move. Let me move to this side. Don't worry. DDoS attacks. Let's say, for example, what comes to your mind when you hear of DOS is an attack that originates from a single source. It's an attack that originates from a single source. So it's targeted to maybe shut down a website. Think of, I made a scenario using a bank earlier. Yes. So imagine there's a queue. Only one of you you welcome to DOS and DDoS. So let's proceed. Let's proceed. So let's proceed. So now let's say you're on the ATM machine now. At the ATM machine now, you guys are just lined up. You understand? You want to collect your money, the rest of them, or let's say inside the bank shop, you want to collect some check and the rest of them. All of a sudden, a drunk cat just come. It's not actually drunk. His main intention was just to scatter the flow and to disturb the person attending to the customers. So this is just a single person. It comes to bombard the whole thing and just put everybody on chaos, you understand, to make them not happy and to scatter the whole thing. So this is an example of a DOS attack. A single source. Think of that. Now, let's now see the scenario of a DDoS attack. The difference between DDoS attack and DOS attack is that DDoS attack originates from multiple source. Very simple. Multiple source, DDoS attack, single source, DOS attack. Very simple. So look at this. So let's say, let me take that same scenario. Let's say somebody, the drunkard just come in, and this time around, the bodyguards have bundled him out already. So he now wants to go and call 6 other guys that just to come and scatter the whole thing. I know this time around when he comes, it's not going to be funny. He's going to scatter the whole thing. So just think of DDoS attack the same way. So let's proceed. So now we've been talking about DDoS and DOS. It's just to explain AWS Shield. So AWS Shield is a service. It does help you protect your application from these DDoS and DOS attacks. It does this level. It has 2 level protections. It has 2 level protection. That's the standard and the Advanced Shield. So guys, we are almost at the last end of the class. So let's see. So the difference between one key thing, one key difference between the standard shield and the advanced shield is that the standard shield is free, so automatically protects all AWS customers at no cost. So as network traffic comes into your application, AWS Shield standard uses a variety of analysis techniques to detect malicious traffic in real time. So I told us earlier, when in the exam or anytime you just hear detect malicious traffic, think AWS Shield, think AWS Shield, think AWS Shield. So let's fly. On the other hand, we now have something, another type, another level called, let me quickly answer this question. Attack originates from a single source in DOS, while attack comes from more than a single source attacker in DDoS. But you also mentioned that in DDoS, attack can also come. No, DDoS original, it means distributed denial of service. So multiple attacks, it can be from one person using bots. I believe I've explained that already. So let's proceed. So let's see now. Any question? So what I just did is I just explained this concept so we can all understand. So when we are having our own private studies, we won't have any challenges. So let's answer the question. So quickly, now let me see. Let's ask which service helps protect your application against distributed denial attacks. Now, if we all don't get this, I'm going to cry now. Seriously. Thank you. No, that's fine, Deborah. So D, that's good. Please, yes, AWS Shield. Who is saying A? Babita? No, now. Hey, Jesus, I want to cry you. D. So the answer is D. So this is the correct answer. I think Babita, you just wanted me to cry. So this is the correct answer. Let's move to the next one. So let's move to the next one. No, it's no longer D. Let's see the next question now. Let me see. Now, which tasks can AWS Key Management perform? Which tasks can AWS Key Management perform? Now, this is another question. This is knowledge check 2. So, configure multiple authentication, update their AWS account user password, create cryptographic keys, assign permissions to. Okay, guys are doing well. Thank you. See, it's very simple. So the keyword there is key. So immediately you just hear of key. No, now I omit. Oh no, it's not A. Oh my Jesus. Kayode. Okay. So that's all for today's section. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I'm so sorry. I believe we are all good now. So once you just hear of DDoS, DOS, you already know AWS Shield. Yes, see, you guys are good. You guys, trust me, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. So we're going to call it a day. So, but please don't forget to check your mail, and I want to see all you guys at the LMS platform. Hope you get it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you guys are getting it. You guys are amazing. Myself and my colleague are so happy to have you guys. So let's call it a day. Thank you so much. To have a wonderful night. See you next week, Monday. Bye bye.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the class. That was a very amazing session. Thank you, Moses, for the amazing session. Kindly pay attention to the following announcements. Onboarding on the e-learning management system, the LMS, which is Canva, is very important. As from next week, all classes will be held on the LMS. Your attendance will be taken on the LMS. All assignments will be done on the LMS. Quizzes will be taken on the LMS. Grading of assignments
mi ò gbọ́ mi ò pé wọ́n gbọ́ last part yẹn.